Hi, my name is John Scomp, and I'm going to be walking you guys through some parent tips for using Canvas. The first tip that we have is accessing multiple students. We know that a lot of parents here in the corporation have multiple students that use Canvas and would like to access that information as easily as possible. The first step to accessing multiple students, and with all of our tips today, is you're going to need to be in Canvas. So if you go to the corporation homepage and scroll down to the bottom of the page, you can see that there is a link for you to click on to get to our Canvas site. If you click on that link, you get here. One thing that's really important for you and for your student is to make sure that this MCCSC logo is here. It throws off some kids if they go to the wrong Canvas site. When you log in, you'll need to make a parent account. That's done here. You can click on that, and the directions are pretty straightforward. You can follow there. But once you do, you can log in. I've created a parent account for myself to view myself as a student that we're going to use to start off with here. So I'm going to log in. And at first I'll see a screen that looks something like this. I currently only have one student, myself. And there's a couple different classes that I'm in. I'm in these three classes. They're all different colors. But let's say that I had another student. Mrs. Bright has been so kind to allow me to view her students. So we're going to add them to our account. To do this, we're going to click on Account. Then we're going to click on Settings. We're going to click on Observing. So in Canvas, you're considered an observer as a parent, so you can look at what's happening in classes. So we're going to click on Observing, and we can see that currently I'm only observing John Scomp myself. Now, in order to add another student, I would click here and put in their username. I will need to know my student's password. Okay, so that would be the password they use to get into Canvas. It's also the same password they use to get into the Chromebook, and I'm going to type that in to the password blank here. Then hit plus student. It'll take a couple seconds. You can see now that I have Alyssa Bright as a student that I am also observing. We can tell because we have both of our students being observed here that we've successfully added both of these students. If I had more students, I could put their username and their password here, and then I would click plus student to add more students. I can also see that if I go back to my dashboard, which is kind of the home page for Canvas, that there's a bunch more courses here that I can look at that correspond to the different courses my students are taking. So since we have all those courses, our second tip is going to be organizing our dashboard so we can tell which student's taking which course, and we can easily access the grades that we need to for our students. So we're going to go back to our dashboard, and we can see that they have colors to their backgrounds. I've already organized red being Alyssa Bright's courses and blue being John Scomp's courses. I did that by clicking on this little pencil here. That gives me some different color options that I can choose for the backgrounds. This changes it so I can tell personally which student is taking which course. I just hit apply, and it does that so that way it's easier for me to tell which course goes with which student. Our third tip deals with accessing student grades. Canvas has some really nice features that let us look at student grades and tell what they're doing in their classes and kind of be able to help them achieve their greatest potential. So we're going to go back to our dashboard. Once we get back to our dashboard, we can do a couple things. We can either click directly on the course that we want to look at, or what I like to do personally when viewing grades is just click this nice View Grades button here. It's interesting to note that above this, we can see that in Miss Henderson's class, there is a vocabulary quiz coming up, and hopefully Alyssa is studying for that. So we're going to click View Grades. And we can see all the grades of all our students. We can see John Scomp is in 3 courses. He has no grades for those courses. And Alyssa Bright is in these courses. She has no grades for a couple of these and grades for 2 of them. Now, it's important to note that the official grade comes through PowerSchool, and some teachers choose just to post all their grades through PowerSchool, and that's okay. And some teachers post them through Canvas and through PowerSchool. So let's say that we were concerned about this 94.7%. We could click on this grade for AP English Language and Composition. Clicking on this takes me to Alyssa's grades in that class, and we can go down through and look at all of these that Miss Henderson has put in. We can see, here's some nice features of this. We can see here that, this is grade info. So we click on this triangle, click on that, and we see that this assignment does not count towards the final grade. So although they gave this assignment, that assignment doesn't go toward the final grade. Then we can also click on this comment here. we can see that this just says when it was graded. Some other comments would say things like when it's graded, but they could see anything that Miss Henderson would put. Like, for example, here it says well written, lots of focus on rewording the prompt, but it flows very nicely. We can also click on this check plus mark to see how it did compare to other students in the class. We can see that she is much higher than what other people did in her class, which is good. Some other things that are helpful. Let's say that, for instance, we want to look at the work she submitted on a particular assignment. So let's look at this assignment here. We can click on the assignment. If anything was submitted online, we can see what was submitted. So we can see here everything that was written, and we can see that it did deserve a 5 out of 5. So I can monitor my students' work this way, and I can give them feedback. I can see the feedback the teacher gave, so that way I can help my student achieve their maximum potential. Okay, so it's time for our fourth tip, the calendar. This is by far my favorite function of Canvas for parent usage. I think that it can really impact student learning, can really help them manage what they need to do and when they need to turn stuff in. So as always, let's return to our dashboard. Okay, so I'm back here at my dashboard. Just a reminder, Alyssa's classes are in red and my classes are in blue, and that's going to be important when we look here at the calendar. The calendar is over here with some other functions, but we're going to focus on the calendar right now. When I click on the calendar, I'm going to see your basic monthly calendar. I can do it by week, month, I can do an agenda, or I can do a scheduler. All of these things on here are red currently because there is nothing due for John Scomp at the time. Those 3 courses have been completed. But what I can do is if I look over here and say I don't want to see anatomy and physiology, I can click on the red indicator beside it and all those things will go away. I think it would be better if I click on the AP English. You can see those disappear. What I love so much about this is that we can look at when things are due. We can see things that should have been completed. If I click on one of these assignments, like for instance it says graphs, I can see this is pre-calculus, it's page 93. It gives me the details of what needs to be done. If I look at the vocab quiz, I can see the words that are being discussed. So there's just a whole lot of functionality that you can use here. And if I click on a day, I can add an event that can be done as well here. So I think the calendar can just be really helpful when we're looking at what our students need to do and how they need to be completing coursework. And I think it's one of the most useful functions that Canvas has to offer. And it will show all of your students' events on this one page. It's just that one of our students, myself, has no classes that are currently due, and that's why we don't see anything in blue here. And these colors do match the colors we set up on our dashboard preferences earlier. Okay, so our fifth and final tip is Canvas notifications. Notifications are really nice because they'll give us updates on our phone or on our email through our computer that'll let us know snapshots of what's happening in our students' classrooms. So again, we'll go back to that dashboard. Okay, so I'm back here at my dashboard. Whenever you first create your course, there'll be a banner up here where my mouse is that says, would you like to update your preferences now? You can click that to do that. But let's say you want to update it later or you forgot to do that or something like that. What you can do is you can always click on Account. You can click on Notifications right here. Under your notifications, you can select which notifications you would like to get about your students, all of them. So when I look at this, I can do different activities. I can look at the discussions, conversations, scheduling, groups, alerts, tons of different notifications we can get. And the way this works is you can either do it immediately, which is the check mark. You can do a daily summary, which will come in as an email, and everything you have as a daily summary will come in on the same email at the end of the day. You can do a weekly summary, or you can say, I don't want any notifications about this. You need to select what works best for you. Personally, I think that as a parent, either a daily or a weekly would probably be best because teachers post a lot of stuff and you just get notifications all the time. This will send it to this email address. Now we can also add another email address or our cell phone via text message by coming back over here to our account settings, clicking on settings, and we can see over here that I can add another email address in case I want to send it to another one, or I can add a different contact method. I can do that and add a cell number. We have to put in a carrier, and we can put in email for the SMS as well. So This is a really nice feature that can get you your notifications right there on your phone so that you can see immediately what is happening in your student's classroom. Okay, so those are our 5 main tips for using Canvas as a parent. We thank you for watching this video and hope that it has been helpful in informing you how to use Canvas to further your students' learning. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact someone at the school and we'd be happy to help you learn more about Canvas.